Okay, now it's recording. Thank you.
I had to do it on phone. That's okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Please, devotees, bless me so I'll be able to try and recite in Sanskrit. Hare Krishna. Can everybody hear properly?
Yes,
Yes,
Mother.
we can.
Okay. Okay. Chapter 9, text 1. Shri Bhagavanuvacha idam tu te guhyatamam pravakshyami anusuyave gnanam vignana sahitam yajkyatva mokshase supat.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, because you are never envious of me, I shall impart to you this most confidential knowledge and realization, knowing which you shall be relieved of the miseries of material existence.
9.2 Rajavidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyakshavāgamam Dharmyan Susukham Kartum Avyayam.
This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is the perfection of religion. It is everlasting, and it is joyfully performed.
9.3 Ashraddhadana Purusha Dharmasyasya Parantapa Aprapya Mam Nivartante Mrityu Samsara Vartmani.
Those who are not faithful in this devotional service cannot attain me, O conqueror of enemies. Therefore, they return to the path of birth and death in this material world.
9.4 Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani na chaham teshva avastita.
By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them.
9.5 Na cha matsthani bhutani pashya me yogam aishwaram bhuta bruna na cha bhutastho mamatma bhuta bhavana.
And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not a part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation.
9.6 Yathakasha sthito nityam vayu sarvatra go mahan tatha sarvani bhutani matsthaniti upadraya.
Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me.
9.7 Sarvabhutani konteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpado vishrujamyaham. Just excuse me for 1 minute.
O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again.
9.8 Prakritim swa avastabhya vishrujami puna puna bhutagramam imam kritsnam avasham prakrutervasat.
The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. And under my will, it is annihilated at the end.
9.9 न च मां तानि कर्माणि न बध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवद् असि नम अशक्तं तेषु कर्मसु.
O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral.
9.10 मया दक्षेण प्रकृति सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगद्विपरिवर्तते.
This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under his rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again.
9.11 अवजानन्ति मां मूढा मानुषीं तनुमाश्रितं परं भावम् अजानन्तो मम भूतमहेश्वरम्.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme Lord of all that be.
9.12 मोक्षामोक्षकर्माणो मोक्षज्ञानविचेतस राक्षसीम् आसुरीं चैव प्रकृतिं मोहिनीं स्थिता.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demoniac and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
9.13 महात्मानस्तु मां पार्थ दैवीं प्रकृतिम् आश्रिता भजन्ति अनन्यमनसो ज्ञात्वा भूतादिम् अव्ययम्.
O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
9.14 सततं कीर्तयन्तो मां यतन्तश्च दृढव्रतः नमस्यन्तश्च मां भक्त्या नित्ययुक्ता उपासते.
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
9.15 ज्ञानयज्ञेन चापि अन्ये यजन्तो माम् उपासते एकत्वेन पृथक्त्वेन बहुधा विश्वतो मुखम्.
Others who engage in sacrifice by the cultivation of knowledge worship the Supreme Lord as the one without a second, as diverse in many and in the universal form.
9.16 अहं क्रतुर् अहं यज्ञ स्वदाहम् अहम् औषधम् मन्त्रो अहम् एवाच्यम् अहम् अग्निर् अहम् हुतम्.
But it is I who am the rituals, I the sacrifice, the offering to the ancestors, the healing herb, the transcendental chant. I am the butter and the fire and the offering.
9.17 पीताहम् अस्य जगतो माता दाता पितामह वेद्यं पवित्रम् ओंकार ऋक्सां यजुरेव च.
I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandchild. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the rigor, the Sama, and the Yajurvedas.
9.18 गतिर्भर्ता प्रभु साक्षी निवास शरणं सुहृत् प्रभाव प्रलय स्थानं Nidanam bija avyayam.
I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, and the most dear friend. I am the creation and the annihilation, the basis of everything, the resting place, and the eternal seed.
9.19 Tapami aham varsham nigrunami utsrujami cha amrutam chaiva mrityusha sad asach chaham arjunam.
O Arjuna, I give heat, and I withhold and send forth the rain. I am immortality, and I am also death personified. Both spirit and the matter are in me.
9.20 Traivedyamam soma papota papa yajne itsva swargatim prarthayante te punyam asadhya surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogan.
Those who study the Vedas and drink the Soma juice, seeking the heavenly planets, worship me indirectly. Purified the sinful reactions, they take birth on the pious heavenly planets of Indra, where they enjoy godly delights.
921 Tetam bhuktva swargalokam vishalam क्षीणे पुण्यमर्तलोकं विशन्ति एवं त्रैधर्मम् अनुप्रपन्न गतागतं कामकामा लभन्ते.
When they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death.
9.22 अनयश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्.
But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have.
9.23 ये अपि अन्यदेवता भक्ता यजन्ते श्रद्धयान्विता ते अपि माम् एव कौन्तेय यजन्ति अविधिपूर्वकम्.
Those who are devotees of other gods and who worship them with faith actually worship only me, O son of Kunti, but they do so in a wrong way.
9.24 अहं हि सर्वयज्ञानां भोक्ता च प्रभुरेव च न तु माम् अभिजानन्ति तत्त्वेनातास्त्यावन्ति ते.
I am the only enjoyer and the master of all sacrifices. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down.
9.25 यान्ति देवव्रता देवान् पितॄन् यान्ति पितृव्रतः भूतानि यान्ति भूतेज्य यान्ति मद् याजिनो अपि माम्.
Those who worship the demigods will take birth amongst the demigods. Those who worship the ancestors go to the ancestors. Those who worship ghosts and spirits will take birth among such beings. And those who worship me will live with me.
9.26 पत्रं पुष्पं फलं तोयं यो मे भक्त्या प्रयच्छति तदहं भक्ति उपहृतम् अश्नामि प्रयतात्मनः.
If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it.
9.27 यत् करोषि यद् अस्नासि यज्जुहोषि ददासि यत् तपस्यासि कौन्तेय तत् कुरुष्व मद् अर्पणम्.
Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me.
9.28 Subha phaler evam mokshase karma bandhanai sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mam upaishyasi.
In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and come to me.
9.29 Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham.
I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
9.30 Api chet suduracharo bhajante mam ananyabhak sadureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hisa.
Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination.
9.31 Shipram bhavanti dharmatma sasva shantim nigacchati konteya pratijanihi na me bhaktya pranashyati.
He quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes.
9.32 Mam hi partha vipasritya ye api shuya papayo naya striyo vaishyas tatha sudras te api yanti param gatim.
O son of Pratha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, and Sudras, workers, can attain the supreme destination.
9.33 Kim punar brahmana punya bhaktya rajarshyastatha anityam asukham lokam imam prapya bhajasva mam.
How much more this is so of the righteous Brahmanas, the devotees, and the saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary, miserable world, engage in loving service unto me.
9.34 Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktva atmanam matparayana.
Engage your mind always in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me, being completely absorbed in me. Surely you will come to me. Om Tat Sat.
Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the 9th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the most confidential knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you so much, Krishna Mari Mataji. Very, very nice for the first attempt. Excellent. Really nice. And also Nimisha Mataji, very nice English. Using.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you for the opportunity, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so let me stop sharing this first. Sorry, actually, right in the middle of it, I realized that I've accidentally stopped sharing the screen. So, and then I got a message to warn me, so, to alert me. So I got it. I've just been trying to find the controls on this new platform in terms of muting. I just been struggling with that. Just give me a second. Okay, so now,
Umapati Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So what I want to do is now share. I need to get on to the shloka. So let me just do that and then share that screen with you. Okay, so we'll read the shloka for today and then move on from there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, text 29. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi te teshu chapyaham. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. So Puramanini will read the purport.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. One may question here that if Krishna is equal to everyone and no one is his special friend, then why does he take a special interest in the devotees who are always engaged in his transcendental service? But this is not discrimination, it is natural. Any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has a special interest in his own children. The Lord claims that every living entity, in whatever form is his son, and so he provides everything with a generous supply of the necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rains all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. But for his devotees, he gives specific attention. Such devotees are mentioned here. They are always in Krishna consciousness, and therefore they are always transcendentally situated in Krishna. The very phrase Krishna consciousness suggests that those who are in such consciousness are living transcendentalists, situated in him. The Lord says here distinctly, Mayeti, they are in me. Naturally, as a result, the Lord is also in them. This is reciprocal. This also explains the words Ye yathamam prapadyante tam sattateva vajamahyam. Whoever surrenders unto me, proportionately I take care of him. This transcendental reciprocation exists because both the Lord and the devotees are conscious. When a diamond is set in a golden ring, it looks very nice. The gold is glorified, and at the same time, the diamond is glorified. The Lord and the living entity eternally glitter, and when a living entity becomes inclined to the service of the Supreme Lord, he looks like gold. The Lord is a diamond, and so this combination is very nice. Living entities in a pure state are called devotees. The Supreme Lord becomes the devotee of his devotees. If a reciprocal relationship is not present between the devotee and the Lord, then there is no personalist philosophy. In the impersonal philosophy, there is no reciprocation between the Supreme and the living entity, but in the personalist philosophy, there is. The example is often given that the Lord is like a desire tree, and whatever one wants from this desire tree, the Lord supplies. But here the explanation is more complete. The Lord is here stated to be partial to the devotees. This is the manifestation of the Lord's special mercy to the devotees. The Lord's reciprocation should not be considered to be under the law of karma. It belongs to the transcendental situation in which the Lord and his devotees function. Devotional service to the Lord is not an activity of this material world. It is part of the spiritual world where eternity, bliss, and knowledge predominate.
Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Dhyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So now I'm going to try and share my other screen. What happens is when I'm not sharing, I've got all the controls about muting everybody. But when I'm sharing a screen, then my controls disappear. So I just humbly request that you please keep an eye on that red sign for the speaker, for the microphone rather. And if that microphone is gray, that means that your microphone is open and everybody can hear you. It needs to be red when you're muted. Thank you. Right. So let's begin. Chapter 9, a quick summary as usual. 1 to 3, we heard about knowledge and eligibility. 4 to 10, we heard about Krishna's relationship with the material world. Achinta Bheda Bhed Tattva. 11 to 25, fools neglect bhakti, the divine don't. And the last section now, which we're on, is 26 to 34, glories of devotion service to Krishna. Very, very nice section, very sweet. So the verse we already recited, I'll just recite the translation once again to remind us. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. But whoever renders service to me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. So just a quick mention on this verse in terms of the pronunciation, as we mentioned the other day. This everything else actually is quite straightforward in terms of pronunciation on this verse, except the last line where it says Maite Teshu Chapi Aham. So as I was saying last time, for the meter to be correct, you have to actually join the Y with the A. So Chapi Aham rather than Chapi Aham, Chapi Aham. Because then it's 8 syllables. Maite Teshu Chapi Aham. That's 8 syllables. That fits with the Anushtup meter. But if you go Maite Teshu Chapi Aham, it becomes 9. So it's faulty. So that's the only thing to note in this verse. And there are many, many verses like this where the Y and the next word need to be combined for the meter to be right. So that's the verse. So in this verse, there's a very nice commentary by Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, who is one of the prominent acharyas in our movement, who was rather many, many years ago. And he explains that this verse, Krishna is displaying, interestingly, two different moods in this verse. So as we know, that Krishna, the Lord, can be realized in three different ways. The same Lord can be realized in three different ways. So there's a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam 1 to 11, which goes, Vadanti tat tat vavedas tatvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavan iti shabdyade. So the learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma, or Bhagavan. So these are three different realizations. We'll quickly explain them. Brahman realization is those who have realized the Lord as the Brahma Jyoti. They don't see anything beyond that. They feel that is the supreme. The next higher level than that is the Paramatma realization, where the yogis, they meditate on the Paramatma within their heart, and that to them is the final absolute truth. Whereas the highest truth, as the Vaishnavas would call it, is the Bhagavan realization. So we accept that there is Brahman, we accept that there is Paramatma, but we also know that the final absolute truth actually is Bhagwan in his personal form. So in this verse, its first half says, I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all. So Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan says that that is the Paramatma realization, because here it is almost like a passive realization. The Lord is passive, as we heard before, that the Paramatma is sitting in everybody's heart, and he is Upadrashta Anumanta, basically. So there is no interaction between us and the Paramatma. Paramatma is there in the heart. He is just watching our actions and noting them, and he is indirectly sometimes giving us signals, but whether we listen to them or not is up to our karma, it's up to our coverings. But so it's very much a passive uh, uh, form of realization. Then second half talks about, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend in me, and I am also a friend in him. So here you can see that this interaction is getting a lot deeper, right? And it's a Bhagwan relationship here, because it's an active engagement. You're talking about devotional service, rendering service. You're talking about being a friend. You can't be a friend with Paramatma actually. Paramatma, the only way you can worship Paramatma is all reverence. A friend, you can only be a friend of Krishna, because he displays all those other rasas. The Paramatma has only one rasa, two actually, dasya and actually just dasya, so in just own reverence. But the other four rasas, which is Sakhya, Vatsalya, Madhurya, those are there um, in Golok Vrindavan, where Krishna, we can have a relationship with a servant, of course, as a servant for Krishna, as a friend, as a parent, or as a lover. So this is how he's explained this verse very nicely. Quite interesting. Let's go to the main points. So in the last verse, Krishna is saying that you will be freed from bondage uh, of work, from all auspicious inauspicious results, and you'll be liberated. You come to me. So here Prabhupada says in his purport that somebody would ask a question that if Krishna is equal to everyone, then why does he take this special interest in the devotees? So he's only saying that those who will be freed are people who come to me and who worship me, as he's been saying in this last few verses. So the question could be, is he partial? Krishna is supposed to be impartial. So Prabhupada then explains that this is not discrimination, but it is natural. And he explains in the purport, the example he gives is that there may be a man who's very charitable, and he is very friendly, and he wants to help everybody out, but he still has special interest in his own children. So this is a natural affinity that we have. So so even a king, for example, a king is supposed to be completely neutral. But of course, we cannot deny the king to have special feelings for his own children. That would be unnatural. So this is how Prabhupada is explaining that it is not partial on the part of the Lord. The Lord provides. Prabhupada continues to say, the Lord provides everyone a generous supply of necessities of life. He is just like a cloud which pours rain all over, regardless of whether it falls on rock or land or water. So see, all the natural resources are available to everybody. This is Krishna's mercy. Everything is available to everybody. Krishna doesn't withhold. So rain, for example, there could be some trees which produce very sweet fruit, and there could be some trees which produce very bitter fruit. So the rain is not partial. The rain would not just fall on the sweet tree roots and not fall on the bitter tree. No, it's completely impartial. Similarly, the Lord is completely impartial in terms of giving everybody all their necessities in life, right? And he then would basically say that yes, everybody is equal to me. I will supply everything to everybody. He also supplies the intelligence to everybody. He also supplies the invisible signals that he gives to everybody. But whether people pick on it or not is their choice. So the devotees have picked on those signals coming from the Paramatma, coming from their spiritual master, coming from other devotees. to say that, look, the human form of life is not to be wasted in just eating, sleeping, mating, defending. We have to do something for the soul, not just for the body. And whatever we do for the soul is going to be eternal. Whatever we do for the body is only temporary, as long as the body lasts. So these signals we have picked up, the devotees have picked up, and we are making some steps towards devotional service because of that. But then it's there. Bhagavad Gita is so widely distributed. There are millions of copies of Bhagavad Gita distributed, probably lying on people's shelves, still not even unwrapped. So Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada has called it Bhagavad Gita as it is. But a lot of people, they get it because some devotee has given it to them, and they keep it as it is on the shelf. So it's not supposed to be kept as it is. You're supposed to read it every day. So the point is, it's available. Krishna has made all this knowledge available through all the acharyas and all the wonderful senior devotees. And so we devotees who pick on it, of course, will get the advantage of getting special treatment from the Lord. So Prabhupada then gives the other analogy: the sun shines everywhere, but some choose to remain indoors. So this is not Prabhupada's analogy. This is something that I just put in there. That, if the sun is shining outside very, very bright, but if you decide to remain indoors and draw your curtains, then it's up to you. The sun is there, but you're not taking it. So Prabhupada says, but for his devotees, he gives special attention. So this is natural. It's not impartiality. Just answering that question that Prabhupada raised in that thing. So then he says in the purport that Krishna reciprocates with everyone according to their bhav and surrender. So there's a verse that talks about this, and Prabhupada quotes the very first two lines of it, which Padmavalini read just now. 4:11, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tams tatheva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasa. So, as all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O Sanapritha. So, as much as we surrender, Krishna will reciprocate with us. This is just natural. This, again, it happens in normal life as well. Even in a relationship with whether it's husband and wife, or whether it's friends, whether it's children, you get from the relationship what you put into it, as people say, don't they? So as much as you put into the relationship, that much you will get back. So similarly, here, as much as you surrender unto Krishna, Krishna will give his attention to us. If we are only 10% surrendered to Krishna, he will give us 10% attention. If we are surrendered 90%, we'll get 90% interest from him. So very, very important to realize this. So examples of Krishna's reciprocation with his pure devotees. So there are many examples in Shastra, but I've just picked three. No, first of all, first one, the other three come later. So Amrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. This is a very, very nice example of how the Lord looks after his devotee. So Amrish Maharaj was a king. He was a very, very powerful king, but he was also a very pure devotee of the Lord. Despite being the king, he used to spend his whole day. There's a beautiful verse, which if we have time, we'll go through that later, that everything he engaged in the service of the Lord. His eyes, it is said, he engaged to look at the forms of the Lord. His hands, he engaged to cleanse the deities of the Lord and to worship the Lord and to prepare the bhoga for the Lord. His legs, he used to walk to the temples of the Lord and places of worship. His tongue, he used to glorify the Lord. Like this, every sense he used for the Lord all the time. And that's why he was very, very dear to the Lord. So what happens at one time is Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is very, very famous for his short temper. So he arrived at Durvasa Muni's house. It happened to be the day after Ekadashi. And it was some kind of very special Ekadashi where for Amrish Maharaj was fasting for many days. And this was a day when the fast had to be broken at a particular time. So when he arrived, Durvasa Muni arrived. So Amrish Maharaj said to him, okay, go take a bath and then come back, and then we will have prasad together. We'll break the fast together. But Durvasa Muni went to the river to take a bath with his devotees, and somehow it took a very long time for him to come back. So by this time, this muhurt for breaking the fast was there. So he was in two minds what to do. Shall I wait for him and not break my fast, which is not right, or break my fast and dishonor him? Because when you've asked for a guest to arrive at your house, you can't then eat before the guest. It's very rude. So he was in a quandary. He then asked his ministers, who were very, very wise, and what they said was, okay, let's do this. Just have a glass of water, have a sip of water, and that means that you've broken the fast, yet at the same time you haven't broken it. So you basically are okay. So he did that. When Durvasa Muni came, he found out about this, and he got really, really angry. Um, and he pulled a hair from his head, threw it down on the floor, and produced a very fearsome demon. You can see that fiery demon that came out. And this demon was about to attack, devour Amrish Maharaj. Amrish Maharaj was devotee of the Lord, completely unafraid of death. You can see he's standing there. All the other people around him are all sort of seeing reactions are like they're really scared. Amrish Maharaj is peaceful, just praying to the Lord. Nothing. Okay, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die. This is how devotees are. Devotees are never afraid of death. So uh, as soon as that happened, he was praying to the Lord, and because he was such a brilliant, such a good devotee of the Lord straight away came for his protection. So the Lord always comes to protect his devotee, and the Lord sent a Sudarshan Chakra. We started to chase Ambrish, chase Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni, of course, was a very, very elevated Muni. He had all sorts of siddhis, and he could travel from planet to planet as well. So he ran, and he kept running, and the Sudarshan Chakra kept following him. He went all the way to Lord Brahma to say, please help me, save me from this Sudarshan Chakra. Lord Brahma said, no, I can't help you. Maybe you need to go and see Lord Shiva if you can help. He went to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva said, I can't help you. You should go to Lord Narayan, because Narayan is the one who's released the Sudarshan Chakra. You should go to him. He goes all the way to Lord Narayan, and Lord Narayan says to him that, look, you have offended my devotee, so I am not able to forgive you. It's not in my hands. I am a servant of my devotee, so you have to go and beg for forgiveness from the devotee. He then comes back all the way to earth, and you can see here he falls down at the feet of as Amrish Maharaj, and Amrish Maharaj here is sending back the Sudarshan Chakra and forgiving him. So you can see how the Lord comes to the protection of his devotee. Here, 100% surrender, 100% protection. So it's a very nice example. So next, there's a beautiful verse that with this story of Amrish Maharaj and the Durvasa Muni comes in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. and there's an answer when Durvasa Muni was at Lord Narayana's feet. When he asked, this is the answer that he gave, very, very nice answer. So Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Aham Bhakta Paradino Yasvatantra Iva Dvija Sadhu Bigrasta Hrityayo Bhakte Bhakta Jana Priya. Lord said to him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said to the Brahmana, which is Durvasa Muni, I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desire, I sit only within the cause of their heart. What to speak of my devotee? Even those who are devotees of my devotee are very, very dear to me. So beautiful verse. So here, the Lord is giving us the assurance that anybody who is a devotee, he will protect them. Name Bhakta Pranashyati. This is one of the verses that we speak about, we went through earlier a few days ago. My devotee will never be destroyed. Next, there's a beautiful verse again talking about this theme in the Uddhava Gita. So, as Lord Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna at the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and that's the Bhagavad Gita, there is a similar dialogue between Uddhava and Lord Krishna in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called the Uddhava Gita. So here the Lord is saying, न साधयन्ति मां योगो न सांख्यं धर्म उद्धव न स्वाध्यायस्तपस् yogo tyago yatha bhaktir mamorjita. My dear Uddhava, the Lord says, the unalloyed devotional service rendered to me by my devotees brings me under their control. I cannot thus be controlled by those engaged in mystic yoga, Sankhya philosophy, pious work, Vedic study, austerity, or renunciation. So all the other practices is saying cannot bring me under the control, but my devotees rendering devotional service to me, that is the only way that I can be controlled. Interesting, isn't it? So people, lot of yogis, they spend their lifetime in these sort of things, mystic yoga and Sankhya philosophy, stuff like this. But here, the devotees are the only ones who are going to get the attention of the Lord. So Prabhupada then talks about the Lord is like a desire tree, and whatever one wants, one gets from this desire tree. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur makes a comment on this one. He says the desire tree gives whatever you want. Desire trees are in the spiritual world, and you can just go to the tree and desire whatever you want. The tree will give you, not just the fruit, give you anything, whatever you want. This is the speciality of desire tree. But it, Vishwanath Thakur, Chakravarti Thakur says that, but this tree doesn't become subordinate to the person. Whereas in the case of the Lord, He is so kind that He will give you whatever you need, but He becomes subordinate to His devotee. And there's some nice examples of this. So here you see Krishna washing the feet of the guests arriving at the Rajasuya Yagya. So Krishna, he's sitting there, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he takes the duty to serve his devotee Yudhishthira, to serve him in his at the Rajasuya Yagya. He actually offers to wash the feet. You can see there's a line of devotees still waiting to come. They're all coming for the yagya, and he's washing everybody's feet. So this is how he comes in under control of his devotees. Second example I thought of was how he washed the feet of uh, Sudama Vipra. Sudama was there. You can see in the background that even the queens of Dwarka are really surprised at this, that the Lord is kneeling down and washing the feet of Sudama Vipra. So again, because Sudama was a devotee of the Lord, and he became controlled by him this way. And finally, of course, Arjuna's chariot, he was a chariot driver. He became a driver, his supreme Lord, and he became a chariot driver. It is said that in the war, in the war, there was such tumultuous noise. You can see how much noise there would be in the war. Kurukshetra battle was like so many thousands of soldiers, and so much noise from the weapons and everything. So it is said that when Arjuna wanted to tell Krishna to move the chariot to the left or the right, Krishna could not hear because of all the noise. So the only way Arjuna could communicate was by kicking him from the back. So can you imagine? Krishna was willing to take kicks from his devotee from the back just as direction to move from one way to the other. So this is the speciality. This is how merciful the Lord is. So we're coming to the end now. I have a feeling I've overrun. I probably have a few more slides to go, but it's 20:38. We will stop here. I'll just quickly go and see if there's anything really important to go through. Yeah, this is the examples that Prabhupada is giving about the ring. The Lord is a diamond and the devotee is gold. And when diamond and gold come together, it looks very, very beautiful. It's a very, very nice example here for Prabhupada. And Krishna is maintainer of everything. I was going to go through some verses from chapter 15, but we will leave it for some other time. It's very nice verses explaining how Krishna maintains everyone. So we will stop here, and I'll invite any questions, any comments, any corrections, please. Thank you. Hare Krishna. If
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank you very much for the lovely class. My question is from the purport where Prabhupada says, any man in this material world may be very charitably disposed, yet he has special interest in his own children.
Hmm.
In that context, I'm thinking when we have a very nice relationship with Krishna, we are naturally becoming very loving and compassionate to other living beings.
Yes,
So naturally, we will be more loving and compassionate to our own children, spouse, brothers, sisters, friends, etc.
yes,
But in the renunciation verses from the Bhagavatam or the Bhagavad Gita, we see that we are warned against me and mine attachment to family, spouse, friends, brothers, sisters, whoever. So it's renunciation. I mean, it's like we should not be attached to, or we should not be doing any special favors to
hmm,
our own our own family. So how is that contrast?
yeah. First of all, Mataji, it's a very, very nice realization that you spoke about. That when we become dear to Krishna, we start loving Krishna, we automatically we will love other people, and other people will love us. So this is quite natural. So that's nice realization that automatically that will happen. The second part of your actually your question about how we deal with this. So there is no restriction in terms of loving our family, loving our friends, loving people around us. That is natural for us. The soul's nature is to be loving. So we don't have to stop loving people. We don't have to detach from everybody in that way. The detachment has got to be internal, right? So when you have a family, you have the responsibilities to look out for your children, your spouses or whatever. So that you cannot just say, okay, I'm going to be now detached and I'm not going to do anything about this. No, that would be very unnatural. So we have to go with our natural flow of love. That's fine. But at the same time, what the Shastras teach us is that by reading the Shastras, by understanding the higher truth, we understand that yes, I have to show my love, and I do love, genuinely love my children, my family, and everything. But because of the temporary nature of this relationship, in the bigger scheme of things, this particular lifetime is just a little blip in a whole long life of coming and going, coming and going. So because of that, we understand the temporary nature of that situation. We understand that these people are my children or my husband and wife or whatever, just in this life, just temporarily in this arrangement because of karma we come together. And yes, I have to do my duty to give them as much love as possible, but I must not get attached to them. So internally, that way we detach.
Okay, thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anybody else? If there's no other comment, I'll just share a small short story about. So first of all, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Prabhupada's spiritual master, he used to say that don't try and see God, but act in such a way that God wants to see you. So this is connected to this verse. We have to act in, we have to have our devotional service in such a way that we become very dear to the Lord. So by doing our service with 100% pure heart and by wanting nothing else but to serve Krishna, by surrendering Him to 100%, we get to the stage where we don't need to go and see the Lord. The Lord, because He'll be so impressed with our devotion, He will come looking for us, right? And there's a very nice mundane example actually that sort of talks about something like this, which one of our devotees spoke about many years ago, and I remember that. So many years ago, there was an election going on in USA, and it was Jimmy Carter. You will all remember Jimmy Carter, who was a president. So he was running for presidency, and there was a very tough election going on. And there's at that time, this is the early days of ISKCON, like sort of early 70s. So ISKCON was getting quite popular in USA, and wherever devotees would gather and chant, the newspapers and TV cameras would go and gather because it was kind of a novelty to see all these American devotees dressed in dhoti and kurta and saris and dancing. So it was fun for them. So they would come and cover that. So this was happening. So outside the University of Florida, the kirtan was going on, street kirtan, and the TV cameras were there. So there was one political person who was out there with a big placard, "Vote for Jimmy Carter," supporter of Jimmy Carter. He happened to be around. So what he did was he stood behind the devotees holding the big banner. So of course that message got televised and everybody saw it. Millions of people saw it. So when Jimmy Carter saw that, he then said to his staff, he said, this man is amazing. He's done so much to give me publicity. Um, Go and find him. Now, he was a very ordinary person. He wasn't any big official or anything. But through whatever the Americans, they have the system, CIA or whatever, they somehow, in a couple of days, they found that person. And Jimmy Carter invited him to have dinner with him. And this person, who was a nobody, he was just a regular guy, just a supporter of that party. He happened to then go and was to the White House, and he had dinner with Jimmy Carter. So the point being here that that person, if by his own efforts he wanted to see Jimmy Carter, for millions of years he couldn't do that, right? No way. But by doing something out of the ordinary, out of the box, by serving Jimmy Carter in such a way that Jimmy Carter noticed him and arranged a dinner for him. So in that way, if we do something for Krishna, something out of the ordinary, we need to go out of our comfort zone, right? And book distribution comes into this. Many people are very shy, are very nervous about going out for books. But I would say this is one service that pleases Srila Prabhupada the most. The most. So if you can please Srila Prabhupada in something we just read today, Krishna says that the devotees of my devotees are very dear to me. So by helping Prabhupada, by distributing his books, we become very dear to Krishna. So whatever efforts we can make in terms of helping to spread Prabhupada's messages to most people, it is the topmost kind of charity we can do, to give somebody Krishna and the holy names that will serve them for many lifetimes, not just this one lifetime. So we will stop here. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Excellent class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you, Krishna
Hare
Ji and Nisha Mata.
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for giving the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Hare Bol. Hare Krishna Chandra Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Vinay Prabhu. Vikram Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for a beautiful class. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Vikram Prabhu. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a beautiful class. Thank you very much. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Bol.